What would you tell immigrants that would be the first, 2 or 3 most important things that they should pay attention to when they are coming to Canada?
I think big, and have big goals and ambitions. If people are not laughing at your goals, they're not goals at all. I have goals where I want to have $1 billion in real estate. I have goals by 2028. I want to have IRL as a $200 million a year company. And I'm sure there's people in our office and they're kind of like, is he crazy? But that you have to think big. You have to dream big. If you don't have goals like that, they're not goals. So push yourself. And I've always set goals, 1, 3, 5 year, goals. And recently, I was over on the island, and I was at a CEO retreat. We went away for 3 days, kind of like a think break with our coaches, and 14 of us. We do that once a year. And they asked us to look back at some of our goals, and I look back at my goals and I've achieved most of them. And like when I set them, I thought that these were crazy. Like, I'll have 3 pubs, I'll have 9 companies. Like we actually achieved most of our goals. So, the bigger the goals, the better. And push yourself. Life is short. Life is very short. And something I say to people that I talk to, or if I'm ever a guest speaker, or even to our teams all the time, is like, I refer to Oprah and what she said about business. And I really live by this. The 2 most important rules of business. Number 1 is don't sweat the small stuff. Don't be worrying about the small stuff. One time I would. And number 2 is it's all small stuff. And it is. Businesses can be replaced. I've had many a business that wasn't successful. I opened up a fast food takeaway in Granville Street. I lost $500,000. I'll never make that mistake again. It was probably one of the best learning curves I ever had. I went on to open up 4 more places in the restaurants after that. Don't be afraid of failure. If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. But sometimes people feel like if I fail, people will, they'll be looking at me and laughing at me. And people are not interested in what you're doing. They're not looking at you. That's probably what you think in your head. Don't fuel the fire. Your mind is so powerful. Look at Conor McGregor. You mentioned him earlier. I'm not a big fan, but love him or hate him, look at what he done. He said from day one, I'm going to be world champion. I'm going to hold multiple belts. He was a skinny little kid from Dublin. He had no job. He was a plumber. He got laid off. Now he's probably one of the most famous people in the world. Flying around the place in private jets. And he did it. He did it because he kept telling himself every day, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to hold the belts. I'm going to hold multiple belts at the same time. So I think if we knew how powerful our minds were, we wouldn't have negative thoughts at all. But we're not there yet. But hopefully someday we'll get there.
Is there anything else that you would suggest immigrants to pay attention to?
Putting yourself out there. Networking is very important here in Vancouver. So coming to a new city, go out, get out, meet people, get in front of people. I think business is all about trust and relationships. So how do you build that trust? How do you create those relationships? And I think the answer is probably networking. Getting out there, get in front of the people that you want to be. You want to be like. Find the people that have done what you want to do, and ask them how did they get there. Is there anything they do differently? And learn from that experience.